Okay, let me just tell you two comments I wanted to read to you from our boy, Davey Boy Meltzer on AEW, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And after reading this, I have a little bit of a theory, see what you think.
Good.
So it says, Tony Khan would argue that Moxley versus Copeland just a few weeks earlier was the most watched Dynamite of the year, and also due to the freak show aspect, the most watched video match or video clip. Okay, well, yeah, with the bat sticking out the back.
All right, of course.
So there is a dichotomy where there is a perception of Moxley and the Death Riders being a failed angle and business indicators that would show the company is doing stronger. Moxley is the strongest character in that growth period. In fact, Moxley's last two matches, the street fight with Copeland and the tag with Shafir versus Strickland and Willow, both topped 1 million views on YouTube, which would be two of the highest in a long time and a number that would be considered strong for WWE, which has exponentially more worldwide visibility. Okay, so this is my theory. I was watching this thing, and I suggest anybody watch it because it's really well done. There's this thing on A&E called Rivals.
Right.
Right, and I've been watching most of them, and they're excellent. They're only 30 minutes, and they did the one on The Shield. Very well done, and I forget how much I used to like Moxley. I do not like him in this character, but I believe to what Dave is saying and Tony saying that Moxley drives good numbers. Do you think, Disco, that much like Punk, not a million people like Punk, but maybe 500,000 people just followed him and anything he does? Well, not 500. No?
And I'm gonna debunk Dave right off the bat.
I think it's first, but it's tapered off.
Well, we're going to talk about Dynamite. And so we're starting the Dynamite conversation. I'm debunking Dave right off the bat. Okay. Pull up last night's Dynamite quarters, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this is an interesting show. So it did 620,000, down 5% from last week. Okay. And this was a show that everybody, all their fans loved. All right. Because it had.
It was a good show.
Well, I'm going to get into I'm going to make a theory here. So, Joe, you got the quarters up yet?
Yeah.
All right. So Takeshita and Ospreay drew a decent number because that's like a match that's a dream match for their fans. You're getting free on TV.
Plus the match was great.
But bro, look at going into the now. Look at 681. Look at the Moxley match. That's like 80,000 people for the Death Rider stuff for the Moxley stuff. So he's not the only reason that Edge versus Moxley match. Okay, that was a thing because that was a world title match. They very rarely put world title matches on TV, and there's those. If you go back and look at the history of AEW, when they've had world title matches on, they've always drawn because, like we said, the people gravitate.
But nobody gives about the trios titles.
That's what, but it's still Moxley.
Right. Okay, so you okay? That's
okay. Yeah, all right.
So you made your point. Yeah, but usually he should know better. Usually the last thing is they should have left Takeshita and Ospreay for last.
Right.
But with the Moxley thing real quick, we look at the merch, the top 10 merch sales most months, and I'm always surprised to not see Moxley on there, Konnan. So I don't know that he's, maybe he's drawing some.
Well, 1 million YouTube numbers is 1 million YouTube numbers.
Yeah.
One of them actually the bat. The other ones maybe because Swerve was in it or the girls. I don't know. Yeah. But as usual, the last quarter did not do good numbers.
Let me ask you this, Joe. Can you text Brandon Thurston and tell him I'll send him I'll PayPal him some money if he can get this information for us, okay? However much he wants. I want the quarter hours for these basketball games, okay? Because the basketball games were blowouts, all right? And I'm wondering if we can have a correlation of like this, when the basketball games getting you're turning the channel and like that might have been when the Takeshita Ospreay match went up because nobody's going to watch a 25 point like the first game was like 25 points at the half.
Right.
It was like a blowout, So it's like,
well, if you're turning, bro, let me just say this. I could see this. Hey, well, let's see what's going on with the wrestling show, and they're watching that match, and they're probably blown away. That was a great match.
Well, they see the people getting excited.
Yeah,
like the fan, like you're watching the
Bulls
game.
Plus, they're seeing a good match.
the Bulls game, the home team's getting blown out.
Right,
it's boring. The crowds, and then you turn the channel, and the crowd's like excited watching this stuff.
Let me make you one more comment he made. Meltzer, ready? He says, "I will say this much for Jericho: unless the money is greatly different, and unless there is a loyalty because he was on the ground floor of this." if I was asked about going to WWE, because, you know, Chris said you never know, all things being equal, I'd suggest him leaving. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I think.
Well, this is the fans hate. He's getting a lot of heat from their loyal fan base.
Right.
Their echo chamber doesn't like Chris.
Well,
right?
that fan base didn't like Cody either. So Cody, look how it went. You know.
Good point. So let's talk about this real quick. So at the beginning of the show, they said that. Oh, by the way, did you see?
Bro, let me just say this: if you're leaving because the fans are booing you, that's stupid. Okay, because you can get booed anywhere.
Okay, this is fascinating. Joe, look this up on Grok. Say, did anybody have any wrestling websites, news websites reported that Hook got concussed last week? Okay, because Hook threw up in the ring.
Right.
All right. He got his bell rung and he puked. All right. That's an obvious concussion. He looked completely out of it.
Right.
And so he wasn't on the show this week, and they said he got beat up before the show.
Right.
All right. So okay.
That's why what's the big guy Hobbs was there.
Right. Well, the weird thing is I'm wondering, why are the news sites scared to report if Hook got a concussion? That's news. The guy threw up in the ring.
They don't want.
That's what I'm saying.
Getting mad.
That's what I'm saying. So that's
bro. You won't be invited to the parties and the scrums and the sickos, and they want to be part of something, bro.
But this is obviously very newsworthy. This shows you how
I just gave you the answer. I think that's the answer.
I think it's funny when the fans of the Dirt Sheet guys get on us,
right?
And it's like, dude, what are you?
What they say. I'm worried. I'm only worried about the people that are paying for our show, the Patreon members, and the people that listen to us. Everything else is all because they're not listening to the show. You can't talk about something you know nothing about.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's who reported. Okay, Sportskeeda reported potential concussion.
Right.
ITR Wrestling called it a concussion scare. This is from Grok. 411 Wrestling said that there was concussion worries due to the vomiting. Sportskeeda.
Concussion worries.
Yeah. But on Observer Radio, Meltzer has said that Hook was okay and explicitly stated that he did not have a concussion and the cause of the vomiting.
So what? Did he eat too much before he went into the ring?
Says the cause remains unclear.
And he's off the show this week.
Right.
It's like, really, dude?
Right.
I mean, seriously, come on, dude.
Yeah,
come
so
on.
like, nobody.
Wait.
Right.
They built up this angle for like 3-4 weeks now. It's the main event on the show, and Hook's not in the match.
Right.
Come on, guys. Right. What are we doing here? It's like, just you don't have to lie.
If you're throwing up, you probably are concussed.
Right. So Athena Wrestling,
and they have a very bad history going back with Matt Hardy, just to name one, of people being concussed and them letting him continue to wrestle.
Right, and I wonder if they don't want that get out because he continued in the match and he didn't. Right, and bro, come on, it's not your fault. Let the guy get your bell rung out there sometimes.
Right, just say it. The guy was concussed and he's not going to wrestle this week. Right. But maybe they thought that sounds too wimpy. Let's have him get beat up. Right. You know? Yeah.
I'm working through a concussion right now.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.